Now, the government has released a total of 12 billion shillings for free primary and day secondary education. As Kathryn Omwando reports, the money comes ahead of the much-anticipated talks between the government and the teachers' union on teachers' salary demands.
Deputy President William Ruto made this announcement only 2 days before the make-or-break meeting between government, the Teachers Service Commission, the Kenya National Union of Teachers and the Kenya Union of Post-Primary School Teachers.
Free primary by about 4 billion shillings, free secondary by about 8 billion shillings this year going forward. We've also made it possible for all our children to do examinations without paying examination fees.
Since the introduction of free primary school education, standards of learning are said to have gone down, the most worrying being that in most public schools it's one teacher to at least 40 pupils. The 12 billion shillings is meant to go a long way into improving education facilities in the public school sector.
We expect all our head teachers and school management boards to make sure that these resources that are made available by the Kenya government is put to good use so that Kenyans get good value for that money.
And perhaps to cool the tempers before the October 24th meeting between teachers' union and the government.
We have set up the necessary infrastructure for that engagement, and I want to single out our representatives of teachers for agreeing with us that this is an important occasion and this is a good moment. And this is a solemn moment for our Kenyan children to have examinations. And we will continue engaging and allow our children to carry out their examinations without interruption.
On Friday, teachers' unions are waiting to see if the government will increase teachers' salaries, with Kuppet threatening to go on strike if Treasury comes to the negotiating table empty-handed. Meanwhile, some members of parliament have rejected a recent ban by the Cabinet Secretary of Education that restricts the building or opening of new schools across the country.
We would rather have schools opened waiting for students to come. Because that creates opportunity through which access to education is afforded in this country.
The rationale behind subjecting the new schools to either closure, because if you deny them the situation, it means you are closing down these schools, I think was ill-advised. And what we are actually asking the Ministry of Education is that let Kenyans decide on whether they want to create more schools depending on the demand of the grounds. Like if you are to look across the country, you realize there are some areas which actually still have very few schools.
According to the Kenya National Union of Teachers, the country needs at least 100,000 more teachers to fill the current gap in the basic education sector. Kathryn Omwando, KTN.